The desert plains of Dust2 are the battlefield for our second map, with Vitality pretty comprehensively walking over overpass on NiP after a bit of a lackluster start. I'm Vince, joined by Dust, and we're going to be getting into the heat of this second map momentarily. Dust, any thoughts on that first performance, though? I mean, Vitality just looked a cut above.
Well, first I want to address how long you rehearsed that opening line, because that was really well constructed. The dusty plains of Dust2, the imagery you've painted with a brush, Vince.
Thank you. I didn't rehearse
I feel like you're a fiction writer in another life.
I actually do want to write books.
Okay.
No joke. I think I will at some point.
Do it up, man.
I can't say they'll be good, but I'd like to at some point.
The Adventures of... Never mind, I can't say.
The Adventures of Jetty Moretti.
And the scat, right? Anyways.
Reasonable.
I was pulling back and you went, man. That was... I stopped myself and then you decided to do the whole Jetty Moretti thing. So that's on you, man. That was your fault. But yeah, we're on Dust2. The map Vitality has picked a map that they're very comfortable on. They dominate this map online. Granted, some of those games are in Mountain Dew League, but they definitely are a powerful D2 team, and it always has been kind of a home map for the French side. Meanwhile, NiP, it's probably one of their weakest maps, to be honest. A lot of their losses have come to great teams like Astralis, but still not the best record. And now they have to try to do it to keep themselves alive in this tournament. That's a great one from Zaiwu to start this thing off. He's not done yet, perhaps. Nope, he is done.
Yeah, he's done courtesy of Forest. Glock headshot. Electro now going to be faced off two players. MBK has to try and make amends for Alex's mistake, but they're both going to go the same way. NiP seemingly waking up, inspired after conceding the previous map. Apex, last man standing for Vitality. They are somewhat split up here. Electro to his right-hand side, behind the truck. This is such a bad position as far as Apex is concerned. It's not one that people really sit into often. Completely caught him off guard.
Big piss around victory get for NiP on a map that, again, they have not shown us the best results on. And this is Vitality's chance to 2-0 and move on to the lower bracket finals and play that winner of North and Wendigo for a quarterfinal spot. Again, loser of this series is out. Vitality will get the scout onto NBK, but that's really about it other than the P250 for Apex. So NBK taking a big economic hit to get this one scout in play, but again, it can be the assist master. These USPs become way more powerful once they've been tagged by a scout, so they could definitely still make some use of it.
Yeah, it really is kind of a power booster to the rest of your team when you're wielding a scout, especially if you have accuracy with it. It's not going to be Zaiwu taking it, MBK instead, and he's peeking up mid. That nade, though, could hit him. Nearly wings him, only 1 HP lost, but if he re-peeks too many more times, he could be a goner. Does tackle it, bro. There we have it. Forest deals with him. Scout's also in the middle of nowhere, so it's not as if Vitality can easily pick that one up. But right, RPK. All right. USP.
They're taking so much damage on NiP right now, man. This is actually getting dangerous. Luckily, Get Right with their really well-timed flank up long A could finish this thing off. There it is, the 2 headshots with the ump for the extra cash. The normal long A player for NiP picks a great timing to push through his spot for kind of some kills to stop the round from getting scary. There was a brief period where you got a little concerned.
Yeah, there was that 5 or 10 second period where you thought, hold on a second, not like this, NiP, surely. Surely you're not going to let it end like this. There's a shot, though. Finishes off Get Right, who was just stuck hopping up and down, hoping for the best, crossing his fingers, and his prayers were not answered. MBK will alleviate him from this round. RPK goes in with the AUG, takes a bit of team damage, but nothing too significant. And Alex, the player that did tag him, makes amends with a kill onto Forest. Triple stack on long. Can Rez feasibly break out the shackles that he's been prisoned in? Smoke out for Alec. Can allow him to try and skirt around the edges of it. Bomb is still down on long doors. Sending another player over here. This time it's MBK running out of bullets. Alex doesn't want to peek it. He doesn't want to fake. They're not even sure if both players are here at this stage. Rez has got in for another one. NiP bouncing back, but MBK puts his scout to use. And Rez gonna have to think twice about peeking this. He knows there's a scout up against him, and he's 1 bullet away from death. If that scout hits him anywhere, not just the head, but anywhere on his body, he's a goner. Apex gonna take this chance to get round the back of them with the flank.
Yeah, Rez is boxed in now. He has to commit to A. MBK's on catwalk watching the cross. Apex has his fallback if he at any point decides that he wants to retreat back towards T spawn. He might get 2 1-on-1 just because the spacing of Apex and NBK are not there to trade off of one another.
What a shot by Rez. Flashbang finished off. Still look behind him, so he's definitely got it in the back of his mind that Apex could be on long. Right now, it's a coin flip. Where is he? Does he guess right? Can Rez get them out of this predicament? There's bullets whizzing past his head. Apex doesn't have a kit, doesn't have a life. It's a clutch, it's an ace, and it's easy for Rez once again. Now, ladies and gents, we are back onto the server. Fortunately, all the PC issues have been fixed, at least over in Dallas. Dust, unfortunately, can't get into the server as he's on a different client. So I think I'm going to be solo casting this one by and large, as it's a delay on the stream. Rez straight out onto long with the AK, able to dispatch of Zaiwu and RPK. Alex will return fire with the Desert Eagle. However, as we touched on, before we did go into that lengthy break, Vitality didn't really have any money at all at their disposal, so it's just going to be pistols and armor. No kits, no nades. And they are dying at an alarmingly fast rate. Only MBK and Apex remain for the Frenchmen. And they have nobody over on the A side of the map. So this is going to be a bomb plant momentarily. Would seem that Vitality going to play more for exit frags. Apex down in the T-spawn. MBK in the tunnels. I mean, it would be worthwhile to say if they both have armor. So at least it means they don't have to replenish that going into round 5, where you anticipate they're going to have rifles and probably an AWP in the hands of Zaiwu. But in terms of the round, of course, it is going to be a lock for the Swede. Apex long range landing headshots, pit this down to just the 10 HP. Not going to be enough, though, to take him out. Obviously, would love to take an AK-47 into the next round. Apex is going to finish him off eventually. And does get the AK. So that's a pretty good takeout for Vitality. Didn't look like they'd get anything. They finish it with an AK, can upgrade that armor to head armor, potentially drop a weapon across if they need. So this is a very healthy purchase with a double AWP set up in play in round 5. I'm assuming it's still super delayed for you, right, Dust?
Yep.
He's not even here. Oh, there we go. Well, reasonable. Forest. Gonna kick out Zaiwu. Into round 5. MBK. Peering down. Pit is so fortunate there's a slight bit of that box in the way. Otherwise, he would have died in the first shot. MBK will finish him off anyway. So that fortune only lasting a matter of milliseconds. Forest through mid. Drills Apex. Alex, pardon me, in the head. Finally, they get this buy into effect, and NiP is still running amok through mid. This is a map that you're expecting Vitality to have quite a bit of power on. Felt like Overpass was a must-win map for NiP. They're doing great work here on Dust2. Just shy of 1 minute to play with. And the Ninjas now procuring catwalk, molotoving onto the site, Houston site itself. Apex is going to be fought off at the backside with the AK-47. RPK is also going to spray out onto Get Right. Still, the bomb is under control from Lecro. He's going to try and rotate to the side of the map. Going to find MBK, who whiffs his shot, gets sprayed, and there is now a clear run through on the B side. Lecro's going to be able to get this bomb planted more than likely. They can maybe pick him off on the cross, but they don't have the AWP under control. And they're not sure if he's faking this. They're not sure if he's still in mid. So they're going to be okay to give up this plant. Now, B's site is still going to be difficult to retake, even in a 2-on-1 when you have a Molotov and a couple of flashes. Lecro can pick his position to sit in. He has just spotted one of the players back in CT spawn. But it's all about the second, which is Alex, that he has no idea about. Or Apex, pardon me. Apex, the man to start to put bullets in to Lecro. And although NiP do get a plant and make it a costly round, well, at least one of the AWPs is going to be able to get retrieved. Actually, Apex is going to go back and toss that for his teammate. So they will keep both AWPs in play and get the round under their belt. But 3 deaths as a result. They're not quite safe just now. auto, double orbs. One of which is making a move across in the hands of ZywOo towards the B side of the map. The other on long. They've given up catwalk control, and pretty much mid is barren. It's only Apex can see down there with his AUG, but Apex going to be helped out by Alex. Both of them spray through with the AUGs. 2 kills go quickly to Vitality, who are looking to deplete the rest of the funds that NiP have. It's not much. Easy kill for Alex, just popping up over the box. Bomb still in mid. And 2 smokes are going to go back to back, covering mid. This isn't really going to help NiP out, though. Still a Molotov in the hands of RPK, an incendiary for NBK, and a smoke. Get right can use the gap in the smoke to push through. Nearly gets a double spray, not quite though. And now Forrest making inroads up catwalk. Was spotted by RPK. No idea how he lived to tell the tale and take down the tank. That being said, only 16 HP separates Forrest and Death, and he obviously wants to go save this AWP. Give them a little bit to play with. Also has a P250, could drop that to one of his teammates. Gives 2 players a bit of a power spike. Vitality don't want to chase this too hard either. It's not as if their economy is completely set and stabilized. With 3 guns, they could drop 2 and have a very solid buy. If they lost another one, it would be a bit more tentative. So I think both teams going to be happy to just tap out, keep their guns. MBK is going to get the second AWP as well.
Vince, I might have a fix, so just keep going for a couple more minutes.
All right.
Just want to give you an update.
So Alex, I'd assume, is going to get an AUG. 3 AUGs, 2 AWPs seems to be the meta on Dust2. I mean, the AUG is going to get purchased by most players, but on Dust2, when you have these vast open areas, even more so. It's really where this gun does shine at its brightest on maps like Dust2 and Train. Nading outside of long. Not going to be deep enough to deal with Get Right. The bulk of these terrorists now lumbering their way into the B tunnels. Smoke going to greet them by NBK. Going to stall them a little bit longer, but there's no one from Vitality actually pushing mid into lower tunnels. So NiP are okay here for the time being. No aggression actually shown at all from Vitality. Now ZywOo is going to start to peek up catwalk on the middle side of catwalk.
And Vince, I am back.
Nice.
Much to your relief, otherwise your voice would be absolutely shreked. Much like NiP's hopes and dreams in this round, most likely. Segue on point.
Certainly think so, but they still have the AWP and P250s. I'm surprised that Forrest didn't drop the P250 to Peter or Rez, by the way. They're both on Glocks. Does seem like a bit of an oversight. Small nitpicky thing, but it does upgrade on those Glocks to P250, which is way more powerful against armor.
That's very true. It would be nice to see that happen. Maybe just not thinking of it in the heat of the moment, while the focus is really just trying to make this AWP work. And Forrest has found a pick onto one of the B defenders. That's Apex gone. Now MBK still here with the second AWP for Vitality, and he is very dangerous with it on that platform. Big catch from ZywOo in middle. What is this?
It's Alex cleaning house with his AUG. There's not enough time left to realistically get across to the site. It's all about doing as much damage as possible. Dinks are landing. But still, 3 Vitality players stand. NiP don't really have a huge amount on the likes of Forrest either. So it's going to be a bit of a rough buy.
Indeed, it is going to be 3 rounds in a row now for Vitality. Last couple rounds, they only lost a couple of players too, so keeping that double op in play, getting the money built up a little bit on a couple of players. As you noted, NiP not with much in this round, and next round it would be even more difficult. Vitality could be taking the front-running position. Remember, they're already a map in on this as well, so if they are able to come back on NiP, they would knock them out of the tournament. We do see, actually, PETA picking up B tunnels. That's normally Lekro's position. Lekro will actually be working middle with Forrest and Rez, so this is a bit of an adjustment. And that's a big opening from ZywOo.
Able to dart back as well. keep the player advantage, keep things ticking forward. This well-oiled machine of Vitality, we saw what they were capable of when they started to shift through the gears on Overpass. 3 smokes at play still for NiP. They could still go for the catwalk, execute if they so chose. But they're also bustling out of mid. They can smoke the cross and try and isolate B from the rest of the map.
Let's see here. NiP has a couple of smokes and 1 Molotov. They can use those smokes to cross Cat, maybe a molly towards site or Goose to try to flush a player out of position, but no flashes, which means ZywOo will probably still have free pickings on this cross unless the smokes can block.
And it is going to be very much easy pickings for ZywOo. Even if he goes down, Alex is here to bolster up the defense. Going to be turning his back for that flashbang. Doesn't really affect the terrorists either. But it's going to alleviate some of the pressure that was mounting on ZywOo, and RPK will finish off the round for Vitality. So that is now 4 in a row. We've had 4 win streaks for both teams.
I'm just surprised those smokes didn't come into play to at least try to help them get onto the bomb side. It was just too easy for ZywOo, just kind of picking players as they crossed. And now NiP do have to save up in this round. A few upgraded pistols sprinkled about with 3 armors, but obviously they're not packing much of a punch. They're going to try to go for a B tunnels push, but NBK is here with AWP, and this fire will slow them down, which gives NBK the chance to get in the most dangerous angle possible. Might even line up a collateral.
Wasn't far off, was it? But Apex is at least thankful that NBK didn't take all the kills for himself, allows him to stat pad somewhat. Vitality do take the lead for the first time, but here we go. We're going to have an AWP, we're going to have AKs. You assume there's going to be an AWP in play, but get right, actually goes for a scout instead.
That is so odd. He gets a scout then an AK. Is that a misbuy?
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, a scout's still good on Dust2, but surely you'd want the AK over it.
I don't know. I mean, Lekro's normally a long A, or excuse me, GetRight's normally a long A player, so I guess you could maybe take peeks on the corner with the scout, especially if he would have had a good spawn. But it is still really odd to me, especially when you're starting to lose control of the game. You feel like you want to put your best foot forward, and that's an AK-47 for sure. Or if you wanted a scope weapon, I mean, the money was there for a SIG.
It was a bit of a head scratch. Whether it was intentional or not, they have to make it work anyway. Nate's still primed onto the close angles. There's going to be an incendiary in retaliation. NBK tossing in a nade as well, just to make sure if they're hiding next to the stairs, if they pushed past the molly, they took the brunt of that explosive damage. But patience paying out for NiP.
Bit of a lean for Vitality towards the B sides. I was actually tucked into the B bomb side, out on the scaffolding, so that means the A defense is a little bit weaker. Also, NBK has to focus Cat by himself with his AWP. RPK has to worry about Long, and now he's been dealt with, and now NBK's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he is literally in the middle of a minefield of terrorists. If he makes one wrong move, he's a dead man. Forrest comes out. At least NBK is able to deliver one fatal blow before he goes out. 25 seconds to deal with. Alex found the slight gap in the smoke is going to yield his death. Apex just going to save. So NiP will stop the 5 rounds unanswered streak from Vitality, and we will be even again.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they had that 3-stack towards the B bomb side. Normally NBK is the secondary opera that would play from B, and ZywOo would still be somewhere on A or catwalk or something like that, but for whatever reason it was kind of swapped, and then you still had Apex playing B as he normally would, and there was another player over there as well. So that was a bit odd. Not sure what read they had that caused him to do that. The other big problem to me is if you are going to do that, which is fair enough, then the 2 A players need to be a little bit more in tandem. Like either give up Cat and then just play long A together and hold that ground. That way you can play for a retake. And NBK has an op, so theoretically he can help RPK at long A, deal with that push. Then you have an AWP to watch the site from long A platform or something like that. Or double up on Cat, which obviously is hard to do in the mid round. We've already kind of given that space up. So I just felt they're a little bit disjointed on A if you're going to be stacking 3 towards the B bomb site. Really cost them that round, it felt like.
To see if they can learn from those mistakes and do their best to reinforce the errors. Apex taking a bit of chip over on the B side. Is playing close in case a rush is forthcoming. Gonna just smoke it to be safe. It does seem like NiP are just defaulting back into this same old tactic of catwalk. ZywOo, comfortable kill. His very capable hands with the gun, doesn't even bother to throw the Molotov in afterwards. He does have one.
That's tough, too. Normally, if you're going to take that peek, you're going to do it with some type of pop flash, and it just seemed like ZywOo was unaffected by any utility there, so that's just a free shot for him, and there was no follow-up. There was no Lekro with him to trade frag with. Now, Peta, sneaking around the edge of the smoke at the B-bomb side, could do something interesting. Indeed, he does. Apex, though, so quick to get it back. Keeps the man advantage for Vitality. Now he'll get the AWP.
2 kills for Apex. Get right elsewhere. On mid. Well, claim the kill onto Alex. Bomb dropped out in the B entrance. You have to think that if Get Right is going to get this round under wraps, he's going to have to battle through at least 2 of these players. I don't think he fancies it. He's headed more towards the A side. He's going to be tagging from range, but RPK answers back with a headshot delivered first class. Vitality regain the lead. A bit of a seesaw of Counter-Strike now, back and forth.
Yeah, starting to go tit for tat now after a bit of a winning streak from Vitality, but in all, they still won 6 of the last 7, so still pretty dominant once guns and their economy got in order. What can NiP do here? I feel like they need to do something a little bit better towards A. They need to do something a little bit more heavy-handed with utility. You know, do a cat drop down with the smoke on spawn, or really get the smoke while out on the cat crossing, or get that utility in the site, something. They're going to try to go for a quick mid-B, it looks like. That's going to be the adjustment. But Apex is lurking around here, Vince. Just ducked him with the incendiary and then got the sound cue.
You hate to see that if you Lekro, and a lot of their round, I think, hinged off Lekro's information. And with him going down so early, it just gives Vitality such a massive advantage. Not just in manpower, but additionally, they're back into their same old tactic that's getting so telegraphed and so readable now. Apex in with Alex. Crossfire established, but NiP actually come out ahead in that encounter. They've gone from a player behind to all even, albeit on Forest on 58 health, but they've got plenty of time at their disposal. 2 remaining Vitality players have AWPs. MBK is going to take the initiative. He's playing aggressively. You probably don't want the AWP up close, and Forest is going to shove it down on his throat and pull the trigger. Not much MBK could have done about that. ZywOo now through the smoke, gets the first kill. Get Right has got to get that. There's no 2 ways about it. That's a kill that he simply has to cling on with both hands, because now it really mounts the pressure on Forest. Phenomenal play, but ZywOo is waiting. Unbeknownst to him, he's through the smoke and he decides to just go for it anyway. Connects on Forest and ZywOo. 1v2 clutch that should never have been.
That is true, and that's also the reason why ZywOo is the #2 player in the world this year on land behind Simple. #2 in kill death difference, #2 in damage per round. #2 in overall rating. This guy is a monster. He makes the impossible happen, Vince. Get Right should have had him dead to rights, but the man's just too strong, and that's massive because I thought Apex kind of fumbled it there. His spray with the AUG at middle, it was a little bit off, almost cost his team the round, but luckily for him, he has this teammate named ZywOo, who's one of the best in the world this year. Shows you a little bit of that there.
Sometimes it really just comes down to individual talent. And ZywOo steamrolls over NiP. Around that should have been theirs. MBK with a timing peek as Rez throws in the flashbang through mid. So again, first kill goes the way of Vitality. No way to avenge it. No way to counteract. NiP on the back foot. How many times have we been here already?
Yeah, these early picks really hurt them because, yeah, you want to establish default. You want to keep presence in B tunnels and towards long A. You want to get control of catwalk. You want to leave your options open for A splits and maybe some type of mid-B play. But when you're losing players early and utilities off the board and you're fighting on the back foot, you're forced to kind of just gather and try to hope for the best on some type of explosion. But they also just haven't had a lot of utility in a lot of these rounds. If you want to do a heavy utility A hit, you need all the smokes and Molotovs to make it happen. They haven't had them. They haven't even had many flashes to kind of peak with. So it's just been reliance on aim. And while they do get some shots here and there, it's just not consistent. Can they do it here, though? This is a good little mid-B play. Unfortunately for them, NBK is spamming the smoke and doing damage.
There's not much nuance to this. Vitality know exactly what's coming up with 18 seconds to go. MBK may as well spray. Does connect onto one. Apex. Oh, the Bastion on the site. Org in hand, swatched away. And NiP like insect. Too easy for Vitality once more.
That's a nightmare in mid-B events, because for a mid-B to work, you need to be able to, first of all, get cleanly out middle, and then second of all, you need also some B tunnels pressure. Your mid and B tunnels have to kind of come together. It forces the two players on the B bomb side to have to split their attention multiple directions. Instead, MBK slows down the mid portion, and on the B players on the site never really had to worry about tunnels. They kind of just got to focus on door and window. But look at that from Forrest. That can help you out, just an individual play, and he might get more. Indeed, he gets a second, Vince. That is so devastating for Vitality.
Yeah, you can feel that MBK knew that he had to try and make a play. If he just sits on the site, he's going to gradually be flashed and Molotov'd out into a death. So you can understand the peak. It was really that first kill that put the cat amongst the pigeons on the side of Vitality. They're already setting up for a save. And now the bomb in the hands of Peter is going to be planted down on B site. So, NiP. Fair enough. You had a 4-round lead. Since then, it's been very one-sided, but they're going to at least end the half strong. Whatever happens here, 6 rounds on T side is still good enough.
Especially given the onslaught of rounds that Vitality had after NiP one pistol in the first gun round. This would be a great little recovery to get these last couple of rounds and keep it as close as possible. That's just a crazy round, though, Vince. Like, there's nothing standard about that. It's literally just Forrest having enough of this shit and just running up middle and getting 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you need a player that can do that. You need a player that has that X factor. That can just game change. And that is Forrest in a nutshell. Yes, Rez has that as well. I definitely think Rez has that up his sleeve, but...
Saw it earlier, had an ace.
Yeah, exactly. If Forrest decides, look, I don't like how this is going, he's a player that can change the dynamic of the round.
Yeah. The problem is, outside of that ace, Rez has not really had much other impact. Without that ace, he'd be, 6 and 11. So, need to see him really pitch in more if they want to keep NiP afloat in this tournament. Their lives are on the line on this map. Vitality has that safety net of a map 3. NiP have to fight to get to that.
Yeah, and I did question as well, how would that lengthy pause after NiP take a 3-4-0 lead, how would that affect NiP? And Rez has gone from hero to 0, basically. Like, it really has turned around drastically. So I do wonder how much that was in the back of their minds. Obviously, you have to show tenacity. You have to be able to just put your head down and get on with it. But they can't get the 7th round. It really is game on. It's anybody's game at this stage. Even if it is a 9-6, NiP by no means out of it.
Also need to see Lekro come in, man. I mean, he's kind of taken over Dennis's spot. Peta's taken over Lekro's spot in B tunnels. That's kind of the adjustment they made from yesterday, because yesterday they actually had Peta fighting mid with Rez, and Lekro was still playing B. So they made that tweak in their roles, but it hasn't really been fruitful. Lekro's actually had kind of a tough time making that swap. 5 and 10 right now, but here's the last round of the half, and NiP are going strong for A. Again, Vitality had that 3 lean towards B and only 2 towards A. This cost them dearly last time around.
ZywOo's still alive. He's going to try and put his back to the wall. Flashbangs don't affect him. He's got 1. Misses the second shot. Get right though, can't deal with him. And does go back in, so ZywOo's still alive. He is the foundation that can pivot off. If he goes down, it's a 4 and 3. Oh my goodness, ZywOo's still alive and he's still claiming kills. He's actually on for the ace. On a measly 8 HP to his name. Peter tries to spray down. It was a bit rushed, to say the least. And now Forrest on Catwalk is the last to fall. Vitality will have a 9-6 lead going in at halftime. And ZywOo, you cannot understate how important those kills were.
Yeah, he was the difference maker there to ensure that that A split did not overwhelm the only 2 defenders on that side of the map. And so it's 9-6 for Vitality after the delay. We'll be back hopefully with a much shorter one to bring you the second half of this match. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit.
A hot start for the Ninjas in Pajamas ended with a dousing of the flames, but they're still in with a shot on Dust2. Their second pistol, so vitally important. If you have just joined us, they conceded the first map. It is do or die, go big or go home. And NiP on the CT side now, gonna have to try and deal with a very aggressive Vitality, already taking some long control Not going to find any players because NiP playing far more passively.
Yeah, getting nice control of long A is certainly helpful. They have the double smokes for the long A cross as well as a couple of flashes to perhaps get them into the site. But they have to get past Lekro, who's going to be playing behind the barrels with ranged weapon, a USP versus Glocks. It's going to be hard to get past that. That's eventually the battle that's going to be key. Also, Get Right, you know, he's going to be able to just play on the catwalk with the USP and catch some crossing up A ramp. But again, still so much weight on Lekro's shoulders. He's got to deliver a couple of kills and, you know, hide in the site and tuck in and stay alive.
That is certainly going to be an issue if Vitality do pull the trigger here. And with all 5 players with 2 smokes designated for the cross to deal and counteract with those USPs. Flashbang over. Then land in the eyes of Lekro, who's being dinked down to 19. He can no longer afford to stand and fight. He has to turn away, wait for the rest of NiP to get close. It's an absolute skirmish kicking off on the site, but it's going to be Vitality that sweep aside NiP. Kick ass, take names, put them in body bags. Rez can do nothing but watch the rest of his team collapse around him. This round is over. He's a fantastic player. He has so much capability, but there's so much stacked against him here. A bomb plant, solid positions being taken by Vitality. Maybe he can claim the frag onto MBK. There's going to have to be way more hurdles for him to navigate over. MBK's playing with his food. There we have it. Rez doesn't have a kit, though. He's just trying to take as many players with him as possible. There's another one to ZywOo. This is mainly off the back of Vitality knowing the round is done and facing him. Really solid effort by Rez. Yeah, it's one of those like strange situations where Rez gets a 4K, but it doesn't really mean anything.
No, it's just a little bit of extra money to perhaps buy something a little bit more hefty in a force buy on a second round if that's what the route they want to choose. Or just long-term having a little bit more money, I guess. So that's really about all it amounts to.
Let's go for a deagle. Lekro alongside him decides to opt for a scout. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing to write home about here. Nothing that really catches the eye. Still one SMG for Vitality. Solid shot by Apex. Not the first player in. RPK was with his MAC-10. Wants to go on a farming frenzy. Scout whizzes past ahead of MBK. Does possess one of the 2 AK-47s. Solid work by him, but now they need ZywOo to come here and clean up. They don't want Rez to get his hands on this AK. He's been tagged once. Not quite fragged as of yet. Rez going to connect with a deagle. Seems like he's come alive now in the pistol round in this one. That's an AK-47. A Galil on top of that would be the dessert on top of the main course, but Get Right has been sprayed out. They still have the AK. They still have a scout. This grenade has damage written all over it. It's going to land in Peter's pocket. Knocks him for 62 health. But he's going to survive. So Scout and AK do move through into round 18. Something for NiP to use.
And normally they weren't going to have anything this round, right? But now they're actually going to buy up around it. So they've gotten enough cash, again, because Rez got so many pistol kills in the first round, and they didn't go too crazy in the last one. Now they actually do have a straight-up full buy other than a scout only for Lekro. That's the one area they're lacking. But they're up against the Galils and a MAC-10 and a scout, so a couple of these players do not have head armor, so the MAC-10 could come into effect pretty well, but that's about it. Look at this from Forrest. Ballsy play. It's going to be beneficial.
That peak from RPK is so surprising. With the bomb as well, no less. ZywOo is whiffing shots uncharacteristically. Finally will connect one. I mean, you know that Forrest is there. There could be a second player mid that's pushed with him. I just feel like that peak is way, way too ballsy. Rez, though, also decides to try and get round the back of Vitality. And he has been punished with his life. Peter, next player in. Comes out worse for her on that trade. Get Right's also being spammed up. And Lekro trying to connect with a scout gets one. Gonna go back in for seconds. All these re-peaks. What the hell are we witnessing here?
just a massacre in middle, dude. This is so wild how many people are just facing middle, but NiP is fine with it because they're winning the bulk of the fights. Apex caught a B-tunnels push shore. Zywoo got one mid, but it's been the NiP show all the way through, and PETA will finish it off. It started with the crazy gutsy push from Forest that got way more than it should have, and it ends with NiP taking a round earlier than expected. No money there for Vitality to chase after NiP either in this round, so they have to just kind of sit back and wait. But no, never mind. What was I thinking, Vince? It's a French team.
Yeah, 3 players had enough for AKs and plenty of nades on 2 of them. Maybe just feeling like NiP's economy is ripe for the taking.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the kind of round where if Vitality concede it and it's a clean sweep for NiP, this is such a huge moment for the Ninjas to come back. So the pressure's on.
Yeah, that is very true that if they were able to reset NiP's economy here, that would be devastating for the Swedes. So it's a fair enough little gamble. As you noted, there's still at least a good amount of utility on a couple of players and 3 AKs. That's not too shabby. Trying to maybe mid-B here, but PETA could be a big problem if he pushes the smoke.
That is a yikes from me, dog. That Pete. The best you can hope for is a lucky double spray, but even then you're going to lose these 2 players. Red, though, doesn't care about that. Comes in. That flick from Apex was disgusting. Get Right can count himself lucky that the doors of the box saved his life. Bombs also dropped in a really awkward spot for Alex to go and retrieve. He's going to have to pay with some blood, you feel he is. Got a flashbang still to his name. Does get the bomb. Goes for the spray, but Electro won't let him double up.
Dude, these last couple of rounds, man, are so chaotic.
Yeah, the force buy doesn't work either. NiP are okay to rebuy.
Now Vitality surely have to tap out.
You'd really hope so. This would be suicidal if they force buy. I think they know it.
Especially since you do still have a couple of rounds of breathing room between you and your opponent, even after a save, so certainly gives you a comfy feeling. But look, a Forest farming dollar bills here in the lower B tunnels with that NP9. PETA will also pitch in for some extra cash in his own right.
Yeah, writes it off, stamp it in. It was always going to be going the way of NiP. Patient not going to yield an AWP either. RPK could afford one, but it would put him on nothing.
Yeah, Scout for Zywoo going to be the replacement instead, but Utility going to be okay here for Vitality. This is again a map where RPK will go back to the edges of the map, not the entry fragger like he was on Overpass, usually playing B tunnels, with MBK playing outside long A. Again, it's going to be really on Zywoo and Apex to create the openings. Those are going to be the big 2. Alex, obviously, the in-game leader, also can be a part of that control with Apex. And now it seems like things will finally slow down a little bit more standard round, a little bit more default. Oh!
Bodied.
Correct.
Straight up slapped.
Owned.
I'm not continuing this with
Big,
you.
McLarge, huge. Sorry, that's like a Mystery Theater 3000 we had going on there for a little bit.
Oh, Forest in for another one. Tagged down to 48. No one there to deal with them from Vitality. They still have AKs and plenty of nades at their disposal, but an MP9 up close for PETA. May catch Alex unaware. There's a flashbang, but a counter flash at the very same second will stop PETA from claiming any kills. So the Molotov down. It's in perfect position. It's just on the side of the smoke. PETA has 200 IQ'd NiP here. They tried to push him. They tried to deal with him, and it's going to be get right on the lurk. Who would have guessed? AK traded up. NiP looking good.
Yeah, Vitality just trying to go for a default, but what they were trying to do with that is pressure middle a little bit. Like Apex wanted to pop flash peek mid, not necessarily to commit to some type of actual attack through mid, but just to put GTs back, create pressure, and cause a bit of a distraction, maybe even to set up something else. But Forest just blind shoots it, gets the kill, and faces another one middle as well. So Vitality couldn't really do anything from their default because they were quickly in a 3 versus 5. So really well done by NiP. This gives them a great opportunity to tie up the game. Even Vitality had very little to work with in this round. They buy up a little bit, enough to make sure they don't stop themselves from having a full buy next round, but still not that much. Unless these Deagle of Zywoo can really meet its mark, that's very little they can hope for here. They do have One execute they like to run on B, which they might run here, where they smoke the B tunnel's exit, and then they just molly a bunch inside the site. So they could be looking to do that here, as I do see the smoke coming out. So they will be mollying the platform a ton, but will it actually net them anything is the big question.
I think they've already played their hand, and NiP know exactly what's coming up. Forrest is just making sure no one pushes mid. Here come all the Molotovs. The site ablaze with fire. The incandescence enough to blind a couple players, but it's NiP to hold on. As soon as the initial nades didn't really pay out too much, it was only going to go one way. We're back to 11 to 11. It's all even once more.
Yeah, I've seen Vitality run that before on gun rounds, which is why I brought it up. I wasn't sure if they would do it on an eco, but I saw so many Molotovs in the play that it definitely was possible. You could see that happen again on a gun round, by the way. They actually run that play a couple of times in the past, and it can be pretty successful. Definitely can get CT scurrying around. But now it's going to be the big, long A push from Vitality instead, but Alex has been caught crossing, and NPK can't even fade back before PETA erases his face. That's another crucial early round mishap for Vitality in a buy round.
There haven't been any strangers to those. Apex going to take a leaf out of Forrest's book and use it against him. With an aggressive mid-play. Yields an entry. Now, the hit on B could be a lot more painful for NiP. They've also had Get Right move off the site. It clearly felt that mid was about to get battered and bruised, so with Get Right giving that up, Vitality now in prime position to not just get the bomb down, but potentially thwart this retake. Are they going to try any shenanigans through the smokes? No. They're going to wait. They have the man advantage. They also have plenty of grenades on their belt. There's a grenade going in. Only does 7 damage to Zywoo. Apex is watching the long flank, but also tunnels. Perfect timing onto PETA. Makes this retake pretty damn hard. Get right. Headshot delivered, and Zywoo will finish off the rest. Vitality 3v4, make the retake theirs and regain the lead.
Oh man, that's why Zywoo can just be so special, man. He's one of the few players that you can trust to play up close on a choke point with an AWP and still find multiple kills. That retake could have been dangerous. Also, a lot of credit given to Apex. Catching that B tunnels flank so quickly was nice. He's actually topping the boards in the server now after that round. Well done. That's a tough round to bring back after it started so poorly. This one starts great, though, Vince. Zywoo gets that initial peek off the spawn.
Forrest catches Apex. Pants down, nade out. As you highlighted, he has been one of the shining stars for Vitality, so that is certainly a worthwhile trade. The stand-in, the coach for the top fragger. I'll take it.
That's such a wild peek from Forrest, Vince. Like, I can't even believe he got away with that.
Yeah, it's one of those instinct plays, I think, that you're assuming you could catch someone out, but of course it could backfire horribly. That could have effectively given Vitality this round. They're still going to be pushing on the B side. It's going to be Rez up in window. Molotovs are perfectly placed. It's done so much damage. It's really chunked Alex and NBK down below 50%, nearly below a third. This could put them in range for some spray up through the double doors, but they aren't really that interested. They're already piecing out. Lekro's already going long with Rez. They are going to give this up. They're done.
They didn't have much utility to go for this retake, and one of the guns retaken is an AWP. Plus, the money isn't the best, right? Lekro at $1,900, Forrest at only $500. Saving these 3 guns ensures they get a full buy in the next round. So Vitality, it's not been easy, right? There's definitely been some weird things happening to them. You know, the previous round they won, they really had to fight tooth and nail to come back from basically a 3 versus 5, if I'm not mistaken. And then here, Forrest quickly got it back into a dangerous 4-on-4, but they do weather the storm, and now they're at 13 rounds. Still, the 2-0 dream is alive. They'll carry over a lot of guns as well. There's no hunting going on, so they carry over 4 guns. They can replenish their utility. There's going to be money there to get Apex a rifle back. So they'll be able to put their best foot forward as far as their equipment value. Double op now in play for NiP. It's going to be Forrest and Lekro.
Pressure's on again. It looked like NiP had managed to turn a corner and chisel themselves back into Dust2. The Vitality upgraded to a sledgehammer, and since then it's mainly been Zywoo and Apex leading the charge. You've had a couple of moments from other players, a couple of cameo roles.
feel like this is the first default Vitality's run where they haven't lost a player in the first like 15 seconds. So maybe they can actually roll out into one of their A executes they're very comfortable with, but they have to deal with some cat aggression first. Vince, Peta and Lekro playing a bit of a forward bait and switch.
Peta up close, the first contact, the first line of defense. Gonna be left alone. There's a Molotov planted down. Lekro couldn't see anything. At that kind of a range, the fire would have been in his way. He would not have been able to see the players pushing around the corner. So Peta dangled on the end of the fishing rod, left out to dry.
Big kill from Alex for sure. Opens up their options. They could do a cat drop down play into spawn, or they can go mid B. Counter utility at doors will slow Vitality down for a moment. They'll actually all gather. They're going to do that molly execute again you saw in the eco round a little bit earlier, Vince. They're going to smoke so Forrest cast a guest shot, and then they're going to molly the site.
They peek out a bit too early though. Forrest is going to get traded out by Zywoo. Rez on the wrong side of the doors. Has to wait for the rest of his team. Smoke's now going to be blotting out the sun. Does a bit of damage. I think that was a dink through the doors, which is why Zywoo only lost 20 health as opposed to his life. And we may have a repeat performance from NiP with another save. B is such a brutal site to retake. They don't even want to try. And their economy is down the toilet. They've got to save here.
Yeah, you've nailed it. It's just the cash isn't available to be going for this and still have a way to fight next round if you lose the retake. Plus, Amanda's advantage really helps add to that decision. I thought Vitality were going to do that molly execute again, but they actually just dry peeked into it. Luckily for them, Forrest only able to get one kill at the op on the back of the site, so pretty efficient trading from Vitality. Just brute force alone gets them to 14. Now just a couple away from knocking NiP out of this tournament before Dennis even had the ability to reach in a soil. And that's going to be something kind of bitter for them to deal with, knowing that what could have been if they could have had their full lineup here. It's an unfortunate spot. Peta's done pretty well, though, all things considered. You have to kind of applaud his efforts.
Yeah, I mean, Dusty's out fragging Get Right and Lekro right now.
Yeah.
This isn't like he's 0016 or something crazy. Like, he's actually fragging. He's actually being useful.
Yeah. He definitely had a tough game yesterday against FaZe, but he was also pretty good against Ty Lue in that victory. So it's been about the best you could hope for, given the situation for him.
Yeah. Full credit. I'm impressed. Gotta say, I've got a lot of respect that he stepped in, done a job that was asked of him. Get Right, one of the players that hasn't been performing too fantastically here on Dust2. He is going to open up the round with a headshot. They know where he is. It's going to be Molotovs finding their way towards him at the bottom of pit. They're just going to keep him at arm's reach, but Lekro now able to open up as well. So the two players that have been a little bit quiet starting to awaken from their slumber. Flashbang's good, and there's Peta for a double. Much more like it from the Swedes.
Just winning the battle at long A. Just Get Right picking up on that boost from Zywoo so early. He knew it was coming. He could pre-aim for it because he caught him crossing. If Zywoo could have gotten the jump on him, then yeah, maybe he gets that kill. It's a different round, but Get Right too aware. Then they try to molly Get Right in pit, not to kill him, but to stop him from being able to peek so they could just focus on the long A corner, which is a good decision, but they still lost that fight as well. And so it goes the way of NiP. Of course, Vitality can buy back just fine into this round. Again, they're going to open up default. Though Zywoo brings his op towards B early. This is a little bit of an adjustment.
Smokes and Molotovs being exchanged. That smoke is going to stop Zywoo from really getting anything done unless he can pierce through it and land a fortunate shot. He's now going to be the bomb carrier, as you expect him to be one of the last players in.
They gathered up all their players' B events, but now they're starting to route through lower, so I'm still not sure exactly what they're hoping to accomplish just yet, but that smoke at middle is going to block their vision. Seems like they're starting to go towards Catwalk. The CT defense at A is split. Get Right just focused deep on long doors. It's Lekro all alone with an op. Some rotation coming from Peta, but will it be there fast enough? It might be that cat drop-down play.
Lekro Molotov in just to stop him from actually pushing through, and what a shot onto Alex. It was worth it. Worth the gamble. Nade's now connecting. Vitality just stuck on a burning catwalk, and Peta quick fire 4K.
Oh my goodness, what a play from Peter. Just picks the exact right time to push through CT spawn and put his utility down. You could tell what Vitality were going for. They put a smoke for the cat cross. They had a smoke on the long A corner. They were going to throw another smoke towards CT spawn and drop down because that means the offer on A ramp is so strained. He has to worry about the crossing into site. He also has to worry about his low side angle on a CT slope push. And considering the fact that he's basically defending A alone because Get Right's anchoring down long A, you can be easily overwhelmed playing that A ramp position with, you know, multiple angles attacking you at once. But fortunately, Pita making a great timing on that rotation, shutting down the cat cross entirely before Vitality could even roll out their game plan. That's a big time victory for NiP. It keeps them very much in this foot race because now Vitality, as you can see, they've got to save up for a little bit here. This could allow NiP to tie this thing right back up. In fact, they are the favorites to do so.
No doubt. At that point, momentum favors NiP. These last few rounds have been shut cases. Nothing really that Vitality have offered. Nade could land right by Alex. Does tag him up significantly. Another one follows suit with a Molotov. Two players have gone up, though. Onto Catwalk. Lecro is there on the cart. Not required. Forrest is going to start to deal some death beforehand on mid. We've seen him here a couple of times already. Through the doors. Stops RPK from embarking his journeys on Catwalk. Thinning the herd out. They just want to make sure it's not a fake, so they're still smoking on B tunnels. Still keeping players here, but they're about to find out there's another Catwalk push. So a repeat performance of the last round. Flashbang is effective enough to get them across to the site. That should be a bomb plant. It's going to be slow, but it is going to get there eventually. Alex shows his head, gets taken off. At least this allows the side of Vitality to get a bit more money going their way. Apex cheekily goes aggro, but misses the upshot, gets dinked in the process. It's down to ZywOo now. Desert Eagle in hand. 4 players up against him. He's taken 2 down, but he's only on 73 health. NiP haven't really done any damage to him right now. He may try and go for the peak, and what a headshot. Red's gonna double up with his second. NiP dodge a huge bullet that was fired their way. Vitality nearly got the job done.
You almost believed a little bit, Vince, man. It definitely started to break a sweat because I gets a couple kills with that Deagle. As you noted, he still had a decent amount of health left in him, so his stamina was going to be fine. It was just all about whether or not he'd get the right peaks at the right time. Quickly thwarted, though, by NiP, but that bomb plant plus the save equals a pretty full buy for Vitality. About as good as it gets, other than Apex maybe being a little bit short on nades, of course, but still plenty to go around for the rest of the team. And now it's so intense, Vince. It's 14-14. NiP's the one on the ropes, though. They need this just to stay alive in this series. Vitality, they have that third map. Safety net guaranteed to them. But, of course, they'd love to get it done here and now.
Oh, especially as they were 14-11 to the good.
Yep.
Looking in cruise control, looking like they were just going to close this out. NiP, though, got so many veteran experienced players on their roster. They've been here before multiple times.
There's that lean towards B, by the way. This is something that Vitality got caught on a couple of times. 3 people towards B. The ace defense split. Last time around, though, Pita made a golden rotation through spawn and put a stop to the cat crossing, so that could happen again, though he's much further away. So if the attack comes now, it's going to be too late, and Lecro's in a lot of trouble.
And they've dealt with this and bypassed it a couple times by just one flashbang. It's landed in the eyes of Lecro, and he kind of misses his first shot and just has to duck away. There we go again. It's the flash in, does throw a Molotov down, but it can be easily extinguished, or they'll just take it. They'll take that on the chin and get across to the site. Because even with 60 HP, you're on the site now, you have the high ground. It's hard for NiP to get back on this. They've basically given this up without a single bullet being fired. Neither team have any casualties. Yes, Vitality have took some fire damage. That's it. They're going to have a 2-pronged retake, maybe 3-pronged actually. Up through long, CT spawn, and catwalk. It's all about the timing. Alex and ZywOo going to get the first. Apex drills into Lecro, and NiP giving up this site may be the worst decision they make today, because Vitality have a match point now.
Indeed they do, Vince. It was a fantastic timing attack by Vitality, catching A while it was vulnerable. He felt for Lecro. He tried his best to buy time. He tried to take a fadeaway op shot to at least make the retake a little bit easier, maybe have a 5-on-4. He had to fade back. They had to go for the 5-star retake. If he stays, he just dies. gets overwhelmed unless he makes a crazy individual effort. So I understand the decision, but retaking just didn't happen there. But look at this force catches ZywOo in middle right away. Multiple ops were bought, and the AKs have been juggled to beat tunnels, but they've already suffered a severe casualty. And there's no trade back. It's going to be the 3B lean again from NiP, but this time they have a 5-on-4 early. It makes it much easier to deal with.
Yeah, juggling the AK so that Apex could look for that opening pick, and if not, can trade to the AK. Exactly what he's just done now. Gives him a bit of versatility, but as you say, losing ZywOo so early in the round really does throw a spanner in the works. Molotov designed just to deal with a player around the corner. This is going to get Forrest interested, though, with his AWP. Smoke going to greet him. Does he go for the shot through there? Does he try and pierce the smoke? He's going to get a flashbang in his face. Going to have to pull back slightly. Second smoke has now been deployed. Just checking up there. Alex has the right idea. But here comes the execute. It's going to be B once again. Can Vitality get the entry frags? Peter's going to join them with the M4 in the car. Can he be the standing hero? Not today. Let Crow and Get Right have to fight for NiP's tournament life. It's do or die. On his birthday, can Get Right go massive? They're hoping for a peek here, Dust, and it's not going to be coming. There's no reason for Vitality to peek right now. Flash into the site. Get Right going to be taking point. That flashbang actually affects him more than any of the terrorists. Alex looking up to window. Apex also stacked on top of this. There's no way forward. Get Right with one. M4 in hand, looking for the spray. They're both so low. USP's going to have to come out. Oh, Get Right! What a play! Is there enough time, though, for the veteran to defuse? It's going to be so close, and the answer's a no. Nice try. Close, but no cigar. Vitality get it done in 2.
Oh, man, I thought Get Right did have the heroics. That's not the fire he wanted. He wanted on the birthday candles, not in his face from a bomb explosion in the clutch moment. Oh, and there it is. NiP will be exiting Dallas in the lower bracket here of the group stage. Vitality will move on to the lower bracket finals. A great play from Vitality. They were down 4-on-5 so early, but yet were able to roll out that Molly execute on B, limit Force to 1 frag with the AWP at middle, and efficiently move their way into that B bomb site and shut off the retake. They will be the winner of our next best of 3, North versus Wendigo, tomorrow for a quarterfinal spot. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We also appreciate your patience. We know we had a little bit of an issue there early on this map, but we're able to sort it out, and now we should have smooth sailing going forward. I am Dustin. With me has been Vince all day long yesterday and all day long today. We appreciate you once again. Exclamation point casters in chat if you want to give us a follow. But for now, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have our final best of 3 of the day on the secondary stream, North versus Wendigos. So we'll be back in probably about, I would say, 20 or 25 minutes has been the usual break time. So that's the prediction I'll give now. And so we'll see you then. Stay